You want to win? Then understand this. Your future doesn't begin with a new plan. It begins with a funeral, a burial of the man you used to be. Because the truth is, you don't get to carry your old self into your new life. That version of you, the one that hits snooze, avoids discomfort, needs permission, waits for the perfect moment, he's the reason you're stuck. And as long as you keep feeding him, feeding his excuses, feeding his need to be liked, feeding his habits that kill your progress, you'll never taste what winning feels like. You see, greatness has a strange demand. It doesn't ask you to try harder. It asks you to become someone entirely different. Think about it. A lion isn't born ready to lead the pride. He first has to fight, bleed, lose, and most importantly, outgrow the cub in him. You've got dreams, big ones, but they're choking inside the cage of your current identity. The version of you that was built for survival, not success. That identity was shaped by what you feared, not by what you were capable of. You were taught to play safe, to follow rules, to make yourself small so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. But what has that ever built for you? A paycheck? A routine? A life that feels like a repeat of the one before? Listen to me. You don't need more motivation. You need a transformation. That starts with recognizing the war happening inside your mind, because this battle isn't against the world. It's against the version of you that says, just stay comfortable. Start tomorrow. What if you fail? That voice isn't you. It's your old identity, desperate to survive. Because if you rise, if you choose discipline, if you choose purpose over pleasure, that voice dies, and it knows it. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times. People laughed, they mocked. But you know what he said? I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. He didn't say that to sound clever. He said that because he wasn't the kind of man who would quit. He'd starved that version of himself long ago. The version that cared what people thought. The version that gave up after failure. He was reborn through persistence. That's how success happens, not by accident, but by identity shift. Winners don't just have better habits. They become the kind of person who doesn't need willpower anymore. It's just who they are. Ford didn't just build cars. He rebuilt the way people thought about progress. Disney didn't just draw cartoons. He drew a world out of nothing but belief. Lincoln didn't just lead a nation. He led himself through depression, defeat, and death threats, and still refused to bend. These men weren't lucky. They were forged by the fires of their decisions, by the pain they didn't run from, by the versions of themselves they buried so the next could rise. And you've got a version like that waiting inside of you. He's stronger, clearer, more focused, more powerful than anything you've known, but he won't come alive until the old you starts to die. And death is never painless. It's waking up early when your body says no. It's shutting down the distractions your ego still craves. It's showing up when no one claps. It's saying, I don't need validation anymore. I need results. Your old self will scream, beginning, throw tantrums, because it doesn't want to go. That voice will whisper, you've done enough today. Take it easy. No one's watching anyway, but hear me. That's the sound of your old identity starving. And starving is a good sign, because it means you've stopped feeding it. If you want clarity, stop entertaining confusion. If you want power, stop giving it away with every doubt, distraction, and delay. If you want to win, starve the version of you that was okay with losing. And don't wait for the world to believe in this new you. It never will. Not until you become undeniable. Want to know when people start respecting you? It's not when you post about your grind. It's not when you talk about your goals. It's when you show up every day. No excuses. No need for applause. No need to explain. Because now, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the man you promised yourself you'd become. Do you even remember that promise? The one you made when you were sick of being broke? The one you made when you looked in the mirror and hated what you saw? The one you made at rock bottom when you swore never again? That promise wasn't just a moment. It was the start of your becoming, but only if you stay ruthless with your evolution. Nobody's going to come rescue you. Nobody's going to hand you the crown. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to break you so that it can rebuild you. You can either get tired of the pain of change or live with the pain of staying the same. You choose. You want to change your life? Then change what you tolerate. Because that's the truth most won't tell you. Your life right now is built by the things you let slide. The skipped workouts, the unchecked thoughts, the average conversations, the shortcuts that no one sees, but you feel deep in your chest when you lie awake at night. That's the guilt of a man who knows he's capable of more, but keeps betraying himself in silence. You think winners feel proud because of trophies? Number. They feel powerful because they kept their word to themselves, even when it hurt, especially when no one was watching. You want to win? Then you better learn to fall in love with being uncomfortable, because the old you is built on comfort, and comfort is a killer. It doesn't stab you. It seduces you. It whispers, "You're doing fine," while it robs your potential in the background. Comfort is what convinces a lion to lay in the shade while the hunt passes by. It's what makes a man grow soft while calling it peace. But peace without purpose is just decay in disguise. There's a fire in you, buried under routine, smothered by opinions, muted by fear, and it will never ignite until you walk away from everything that numbs you. The scrolling, the gossip, the meaningless dopamine hits you call relaxation. You weren't built for sedation. You were built for domination, but domination starts within. You have to dominate the voice that says, "Not today. That's too hard. Maybe later." Because every time you believe that voice, you cast a vote for the man you used to be, the man who settled, who blamed, who waited for something outside to fix what's broken inside. But the truth? Nothing's coming. No miracle. No overnight success. Just you versus the pattern that's been silently running your life for years. And that pattern has one mission: to keep you exactly where you are. Safe, predictable, forgettable. But you weren't born to be forgettable. You were born to be remembered, to lead, to create, to bend the world to your will, not shrink to fit inside it. That power, it's still there, but it's buried beneath the weight of your own doubt. So here's the choice, the only choice that matters. Feed your old identity, or feed the future you've seen in your dreams. But you can't serve both. You can't walk two paths. You can't hold on to who you were and become who you're meant to be. The man who has what you want, he thinks differently, moves differently, feels fear, and runs toward it. You keep thinking you need more confidence. You don't. You need courage. Confidence is the reward. Courage is the door. And you only earn that when you show up when it's inconvenient. When you do the reps without the recognition. When you sit alone with your discomfort and refuse to run. That's where the real identity shift happens. In the dark. Not in the posts, not in the likes, not in the motivational hype, but in the quiet moments where you choose the hard thing instead of the easy one, where you choose silence over distraction, discipline over desire, mission over mood. That's what rewires you. That's what separates the driven from the drifting. You want clarity? Then stop waiting for it. Clarity isn't given. It's earned through movement. Action sharpens vision. Motion reveals mission. Think about the legends you admire. Tesla? He wasn't building for fame. He was building from obsession. They mocked him, robbed him, dismissed him, but he stayed married to the work, not the approval. Carnegie? He came from nothing, but he didn't wait for a handout. He built empires from iron will. He outthought them, outworked them, outlasted them. What did they all have in common? They had nothing when they started, except the decision to become everything. They didn't ask the world for permission. They looked in the mirror and said, "Let them doubt me. I'll show them who I really am." That's power, and it lives inside you, but not as long as you keep feeding weakness, not as long as you keep identifying with your past, not as long as you keep calling failure your personality. You're not bad at discipline. You're just practiced at procrastination. You're not motivated. You're just addicted to stimulation. And the way out, it's not magic, it's not mystery, it's mastery. Master your thoughts or be mastered by them. Master your habits or be enslaved by them. Master your mind or watch it steal your destiny in real time. You know what's scarier than failure? Looking back 10 years from now and realizing you never even tried. Not really. You just dabbled, hoped, posted quotes, but never changed at the identity level. This moment right here, this is the line. On one side is the man you've always been, and on the other, the man you could be. If you just let go of who you were. So decide, not tomorrow, not next Monday. Now, because every time you hesitate, the old you survives. But every time you act, and without permission, without fear, without needing anyone to believe in you, the new you begins to breathe. And that's how it happens. That's how you win. You starve the old, and you feed the future. Let me tell you something no one ever says out loud. The world doesn't need another version of the same man trying to look successful. It needs the real you, the one you buried to survive, the child who once believed anything was possible. Before the world trained him to doubt, before teachers told him to be realistic, before society taught him that comfort was the goal, not greatness. You don't need more advice. You need a resurrection. You need to bring that man back, not the weak one who's afraid to speak truth, but the original one, the creator, the fighter, the one who dreamed wild before fear ever had a voice. But you can't resurrect your potential and protect your pride at the same time. You've got to strip it all down, tear off every label you've worn that wasn't yours. Lazy. Too late. Not smart enough. Not worthy. That was never you. Those were borrowed beliefs, gifted by people who never saw their own light. So how could they possibly see yours? It's time to return those lies to sender, because you are not what happened to you. You are not your past decisions. You are not your failures, unless you let them be the final word. Redemption isn't found in being perfect. It's found in showing up when you've got every reason not to. It's found in standing up one more time in the middle of your storm, looking your pain in the face and saying, "You don't get to write my story." You do. Every habit is a sentence. Every morning is a blank page. Every thought is a pen stroke. And every action is a chapter in the book of who you're becoming. But don't make the mistake of thinking you have time. Time isn't on your side, it's on the run. Every second you spend negotiating with procrastination, success is drifting further into the hands of someone less talented, but more consistent. Let that burn. Because talent without execution is just untapped potential rotting in your soul. And this life doesn't pay you for potential. It pays you for proof. You say you want success? Good. Then prove it. Wake up when it's inconvenient. Move when no one claps. Grind without an audience. Sacrifice without reward. Forgive without closure. Keep promises to yourself when no one will ever know you kept them. That's how the new you is born. Not through a moment, but through a million quiet battles. Every single one. A funeral for your former self. And it will hurt. It will confuse you. You will lose people. You will lose comfort. You will lose parts of yourself you thought you needed to survive. But in return, you gain power, you gain clarity, you gain the respect of the only person whose opinion ever really mattered, you. That's the real wealth. It's not in your bank, it's not in your followers, it's in your self-leadership. Because here's the secret. You were never meant to fit in. You were built to stand up, to be the one who breaks the cycle, who burns the blueprint, who builds what no one's ever seen before, not because it's easy, but because you couldn't not do it. That kind of man doesn't beg for attention. He commands it, not by force, but by presence. Because when you truly know who you are, the world adjusts to you. You won't need to chase anything. Money, respect, influence. They'll all be magnetized to the man you've become, not because of luck, but because you starved the version of yourself that kept repelling greatness. And look, if no one's ever told you this before, let me be the first. You are more powerful than you know, more capable than they ever told you, more dangerous to mediocrity than your old identity could ever handle. So burn the boats, kill the excuses, forget the doubts, and start acting like your future depends on who you choose to be right now, because it does. You want to win? Then starve the story that says you're not enough. Starve the habit that keeps numbing your hunger. Starve the fear that's been renting space in your soul. And feed the warrior. Feed the builder. Feed the relentless, unshakable man you were always meant to be. The world will feel that shift. Your friends will notice. Your enemies will too. And most importantly, you will know you didn't just change your life. You rewrote your legacy. And when the dust settles, when they ask how you did it, you'll say, I stopped feeding the man I was, and I became the one I was destined to be. Now go, build the life that your old self was too afraid to claim. The war is over, and the real you, the one forged in fire, born in truth, and baptized in pain, has finally arrived.